Name ki Tebogo Molefe. I'm the founder, the owner of the kitchen. Born and bred, like ekasi, Alexandra. Grew up in 17. The kitchen has been an idea in my head for the last 10 years. It's always been a dream to bring good quality food, restaurant style type of food, ekasi, where you don't have to go to Sandton, Greenstone or Eastgate or anywhere, or Waterfall, to get good food, good quality food, and also be able to wine and dine in fine wining or fine dining, and that's where the whole idea comes from. We opened the kitchen. Actually, we started the renovations last year in May, June, whereby I identified this place, and the reason for identifying this place, it was right in the middle of ekasi, Alexandra, and it was a good space. It's not the biggest space, but it's a good space. It could do what we needed to do in terms of offering what we wanted to offer to the people of Alexandra and the surroundings, and even beyond. So what we basically did is actually started this whole kitchen movement in terms of making sure that abantu basekasi would be able to come ekasi and get good food, whether it's pasta, prawns, T-bone, breakfast, and so forth. And yeah, so that's why we actually started the whole kitchen. I think that let me start with disadvantages. I think with disadvantages is obviously you can't have it to the magnitude that you want it to be. I mean, ordinarily where we're sitting, it should be the whole kitchen, but unfortunately because of space, ekasi, you don't have that much space. You have to utilize with whatever space you have. And also the disadvantages is that people like Alexandra, they still haven't caught up in terms of fine dining. It's still, we have a lot of competition in terms of outlets, street food, which offer more or less the same thing, at a cheaper price, and at times you've always told that you must never compromise on the price, which then it basically means that you can't compromise on the quality of your food. So those are the disadvantages, making sure that you can educate people about good food, good quality food, and making sure that the people do walk into your restaurant, the marketing elements and so forth. So that's the disadvantage about running a business ekasi. Electricity goes, there's no water, you always have to make contingent plan. We have a JoJo, we have a spare generator, so those are the things that when you open a business ekasi, you need to look at, you also need to look at in terms of transportation, how your patrons are gonna get to you, how accessible is your place, biggest issue, toilets, you need to make sure, it's a small thing, but it's a big thing, especially ekasi. So you gotta look at that. Advantages, ekasi, it's the first restaurant in Alexandra that offers the range that we're offering. So and it's got a lot of potential. It's got a lot of growth. It brings unexpected clients, whether it be tourists, whether it be locals, and so forth. So and the biggest advantage is it's literally being able to provide to families, because as a kitchen we hire probably about 10 people, which basically means that there's 10 families that are fed. and I mean that in itself, it's a big plus, it's a big bonus. I think the biggest thing, I think what I've learned in terms of this whole thing is that, in anything that one does, whether it be a man in the street, me opening a restaurant or opening a club, we see that, you need big funds. And it's also just learning in terms of how do you access those funds, learning how, once you get the funds, how do you make sure that you can sustain the place and also be able to repay however way that you've got those funds. I think that those are the biggest learnings that I would want to do, because we always pay ourselves in terms of the scale of our things. We always want to open small things, and sometimes you just gotta go big, have big vision, big dreams, and make sure that whatever that you do in big scale. And in that sense, then you will be able to then derive to your to your destination, as desired. Sure.